Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me. Let me introduce you first in one order. Anil Kapoor, Irrfan Khan, Danny Boyle and Dev Patel. Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations are in order. It's a phenomenal success. I'm sure it's going to be a resounding success here in India as well. Danny, you expected this kind of a response? Of course, it would have been a talked about movie, but it's broken all records, we're told, commercially as well and critically.
It's extraordinary, the reception for the film. I mean, it's been released in America since the beginning of November, so it's been playing there for 3 months. For a film like this, to play for that amount of time and to make the money that it's got, is absolutely beyond, really. It just shouldn't normally happen, this kind of thing. So, I think it's partly the fascination with these guys, but it's also, it's the universality of the story, I think. There's something in the story that clearly appeals to everyone, regardless of where it's set, So that's been wonderful to feel that. But the warmth there is towards the film is extraordinary. The warmth towards A.R.'s music. I mean, the album, the soundtrack album, went to #1 in the iTunes chart. Not the soundtrack chart, the actual album chart. Which normally has Beyonce and Rihanna and all those people at the top of it. And A.R.'s album went to the top of that. And, that is something where people, after a film, they want to take away a bit of the film with them, so they get the soundtrack, And it's very difficult to explain. I mean, you just relish it, really, because it probably happens once in your career,
That's true. Anil, what is the reason? Is it the setting of the movie? Because in a way, when you show Dharavi out there, and I want to come to this later because, there's a Slumdog debate going on these days. And I'll come to that in just a bit. Maybe I'll start with Irrfan. But to you first, what makes this a success? The setting or the story?
I think it's overall, I think, as Danny said it when I said it earlier, that there is a certain kind of identification. Anywhere in the world, there'll always be a kid, a slum kid, or someone who wants to really make it big, or a simple upbringing, background, who makes it big, or who wants to make it big. So there is identification. And these kind of underbellies, settings, atmosphere, whatever you see, they're all over the world. Some underbellies are tucked away and condemned, but in Mumbai, we embrace it. We live with that reality. We intermingle with it. And we just love it. The whole atmosphere. There'll be a huge kind of a slum over there, and there'll be people over there. There'll be skyscrapers. There'll be in the slum there'll be television sets and air conditioners, and they're happy, enjoying. These kind of people are there everywhere, all over the world.
You think so? Irrfan,
I think apart from that, there's a story. There's he has given credit to us all, as well. But I think it cannot be in the way it is being publicized here. This is a feel-good film, right? There is feel-good element.
I'm surprised at that description. I was told even in UK it was described as the feel-good film of the year.
Because the thing is, what it does to you, it makes you feel good about human spirit. It makes you feel good about human triumph. But that's the one element. You feel it's a winner. When you come out, you feel nice about being human being. But the thing is, for me, what must be working on that level, it's working everywhere. So it's the level, like on the surface level, it might appear as a masala film, as a rags to riches story. But it's a layering, the way the story has been told. You can see, so many layers in the film, which we lack as a filmmaker, as we haven't developed that kind of fineness as a film watcher, as a film audience, and also as a filmmaker. We make feel-good films, a lot of feel-good films, but there are no layers underneath. If a person wants to see something else, there's nothing. It's just on the surface. It's a feel-good, nothing else. So there are contexts, there are subtext in the film, which is working everywhere.
Dev, you also fascinate me here because you're what, 17 or 18?
I'm 18 now, yeah.
Okay, you're old enough to vote in this country, just and to drive a car.
Yeah.
But the subtlety with which you have portrayed yourself in this particular movie, and I spoke to Anil about it a few months back when the movie was released in America, and I asked Anil which is the one scene which really, you liked, and I found it was a very short scene. I think it was 30 seconds when you were in the loo with him after you win 14 or 16,000 rupees. And then he tells you very quietly that if I was in your place, I'd take the money and run.
Yeah.
And even then, before that, it was all in the expressions. Tell me, you're a British-born boy. For you also, was this an assault on the senses?
Assault on the senses. It was my first ever time. It was my first visit to Mumbai for this film, so it was great because I was sort of discovering a character and a city at the same time, you know. But working with these actors really helped on the subtlety note. I mean, we've got Anil here, who plays a massive crowd pleaser. You know, the crowd just loves his character, and he feeds off the adoration for him, and that helped me really provide a contrast to him. All I had to do was play the complete opposite to what he was doing. And with Irrfan and Sorrow...
But that will come naturally to Anil Kapoor, because anyway, wherever Anil Kapoor goes,
yeah,
you find the adoration. He's a big star, and he's been a big star for, what, 3 decades?